Hello and welcome to another Excel demo with Rich Kerr. In this scenario, we're going to take a look at the TEXTSPLIT function, which will allow us to take a bit of data and split it out into multiple columns. It's similar to what you might have done in the past with the text to columns feature, except here it's a formula, so it's dynamic. So if the source data changes, it'll modify the results, and you can of course combine it with other functions as needed. Let's take a look at how it works. I want to split these addresses into street address, city, state, and zip. So I'm going to start with equals here in cell B2, text split, open paren, and the text argument, of course, is the text I need to split, which is in cell A2, comma to move on to the next argument, which is called column delimiter. So here you have to indicate what's being used to specify the point at which a new column should happen. So I'm going to use the comma character, so I'll put that inside a set of quotation marks so it can see that there is a comma that will be used to determine where to do the split. I don't need any other options here. I'm going to do a close parenthesis and hit enter, and we can see, let me widen the columns, that it did successfully split the data apart. Now the other thing you'll notice is that because there's also a space after the comma before Chicago and a space after the comma before Illinois, there's a space in these resulting cells. So I'm going to combine this with the trim function, and the trim function is used for data cleanup because it will remove leading and trailing spaces around your text. It also has the effect of removing multiple spaces between text elements. Like if you had the name John Smith, but there were 3 spaces between John and Smith, the trim function would reduce that down to 1 space. But in this case, we like it because it's removing the leading spaces in front of Chicago and in front of Illinois. So I'll hit my enter key, and it worked. So it trimmed that down. So now I'm going to drag the fill handle down to get the other addresses, and I'll widen the columns so we can see how it did this far. It looks good. So it's got the street addresses, it's got the cities. So we'll call this street address, and we'll make that bold. We'll call this city. Now I've got the state and the zip in a single column, and I want those to be split as well. So we'll do equals text split. I'll use D2 as my text, and then the column delimiter is simply a space, right? So we hit the enter key, and it breaks out Illinois and that zip code into 2 columns. We'll drag this down, and then we'll call this state and zip. And of course, I don't really need column D, at least not visually. I'll hide it. So there's your data split out, and of course you can make adjustments if you need to, or let's say you found out that there was something different, like maybe zip code is different, so if you went and changed it, then of course it changes over here. Or if we found out that this address was really not in Chicago but it was in Evanston, right, suburb of Chi, of course that changes, right? So that's one of the advantages over doing the text to columns. I hope you found it useful. Please tune in again soon for more Excel demos with Rich Kerr. Have a productive day.